Alrighty, I think we are about ready to start here. So welcome to TapHunter's webinar, How to Attract the Craft Beer Crowd with Events, hosted by our very own business development rep, Eric Raszewski. This webinar today will be recorded and you'll get an email tomorrow with the link to rewatch it. I'll also send you a link to access all of the slides because there's a lot of great content and checklists in here. So first today we're going to be learning about how to host events that will draw in the beer crowd. Then at the end of the presentation, we'll have a quick question and answer time. So feel free to type any questions you have into the webinar box and send them in at any point, and then we'll go through them at the end. Total with the question and answer, the presentation should last about 30 minutes. And then afterwards, we're going to roll into a quick TapHunter product demonstration. Many of you are already familiar with TapHunter or you're already an existing customer, so feel free to drop off at that point. However, if you're interested in learning how the TapHunter tools can help you save time and money with your beverage program, then feel free to stay on and join us. Total, we won't go more than 40 minutes today. Alrighty, well, without further ado, I will introduce you to our webinar host, Eric Raszewski.
All right, hello everybody. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where everybody is at. As Kara said, my name is Eric Raszewski. I will start with a confessional, guys. I am a craft beer geek, a craft beer nerd. I love craft beer. I love the industry. I love going to events and meeting people. So that's what kind of led me to where I am right now. I am a previous bar owner myself. I have literally attended and hosted hundreds of beer events, been to a ton of them, love them, they're fun, we're going to go over them. I hope everybody's pumped and excited. I know I am. As far as SDSU craft beer courses, we have a great college out here, San Diego State University, and I attend a lot of their craft beer courses. I am currently a Cicerone beer server certified, and that is literally for now. I am taking my certified test here on Sunday. So if you guys want to all type in and wish me luck, I would appreciate it. I'm going to need it. It's going to be a rough one, but it's going to be a lot of fun as well. I am also an avid home brewer. I have the world's greatest IPA that is in bottling right now. There will be no release. It is just for me and my friends, so I'm sorry. But it's literally the worst or the best IPA in the world. And then I am also a business development rep here at TapHunter. So that is a little background about me. So let's get jumped into this, guys. So you have a great craft beer lineup. What do we do with it now? You guys are doing it. So what we're going to go over today is specifically the event side of things. If you are already running a great craft beer program with events, what we're going to do today, maybe we're just going to give you guys some enhancements for what you're already doing. For people who are just now getting into this crazy craft beer scene, this will be something that will be vital for your success. I cannot tell you guys enough how awesome events are, especially for the craft beer community. So first off, why are we running the events? Why do we even want this craft beer crowd? That's a question we get a lot. A lot of good reasons. These people are willing to pay more for a premium product. These are not your $2 you call it crowd. Those people are not the types that you want, and those are not the ones that will increase your bottom line. Also, something very, very important is that craft beer drinkers spend on average 25% more, and that's across the board. So that's not only drinks, but that counts as food as well. And as you can see by this slide, the average mainstream beer drinker spends 80 cents per minute, while the average craft beer drinker spends $1 per minute. So not only are they spending more per minute, but the overall, they're spending 25% higher overall. What they're doing is they're grabbing some craft beers, they're sitting down with friends and family, they're staying longer, they're spending more money, which is what everybody likes, of course. Another thing, think about the last time you guys saw someone share a can of Miller Lite on social media. They said, man, just got this fresh new Miller Lite, and they send it out on social media. Probably haven't seen that in a while. Now, think of the last time you guys went on social media and you saw a giant line outside of a place waiting for a beer release or somebody waiting for Pliny the Younger. Stuff is all the time. I am personally part of a beer group out here called SD Beer Friends, and every time there is an event going on in the area, someone on there is posting it on the site. Because it's fun. Everybody wants to be part of it. A craft beer crowd, we don't like going and sitting at the end of the bar and drinking alone. We want to let everybody know where we're at. We want to bring all our friends in, our families. We want to have a good time. It's a very social crowd. So why craft beer event? First off, out of the box, it's pretty quick and easy to put on. These events there's not a lot of setup time with them. They're very easy to host. The ROI can be very huge. That's a big thing. Holding an event on a Tuesday versus your normal Tuesday, you are going to see an increase on the ROI. I can almost guarantee you guys that one. It's another way to make your current customers happy. We have Bob that sits down at the end of the bar, and Bob is there every Tuesday and Wednesday. This is something different for Bob. Maybe Bob at the end of the bar, he's just drinking his Miller Lite or his Bud Light, and you guys say, hey, come down. We got this craft beer event going on over here. Maybe a way to transition another customer over. And obviously, it draws in new customers. Events are a great way to bring in people that maybe have been thinking about going to your spot, but they just needed a little something extra. So what we're actually going to go over is some of these different events. So we have your tap takeovers, we have homebrew competitions, keep the glass night, meet the brewer, beer and chocolate pairings or beer pairings of all sorts, and then summer releases, your fresh new beer out on the scene, maybe a rare beer. We're going to go over those today. So the first one we're going to go over is one of my favorites, one that I go to a lot, which is a tap takeover. I am sure some of you have done these before. If not, we're going to do the rundown. We'll kind of explain how these work for you. So the rundown for a tap takeover, it helps you build a relationship with your distributor. I know that it is such an important thing to have that relationship. These are the guys that they're going to continually be at your door. You want to work with them. You also want to try to get some rare stuff for them. Breweries love getting their beer out there. I can tell you right now, having a lot of friends in the beer industry, when there's a tap takeover at another place that they may not be involved with, you're seeing the brewers are stopping by. They're bringing friends. It's their product, guys. They love it. They want to, be involved in that. Customers also like testing all the beers at once. If you guys have a tap takeover, there was one recently at a place called Small Bar out here in San Diego for Boulevard Brewing. I got to try 7 of their beers all in one sitting. That was awesome. It gave me a feel like I was actually sitting out there in St. Louis and I had a chance to actually be with that brewery. And then you can also get something rare, push for it. Big note there. Try to get something rare when you guys do these because that's kind of the give and take of that relationship. How to, first off, we talked about it. Talk with your local distributor to get it all set up. These are the guys that are going to let you know what they have in the portfolio and they're going to let you know what we can set up. You're going to see this a lot. See this pre-promote here and then with a flyer. I'm going to say those several times. I cannot stress that enough, guys. You have to pre-promote these and do flyers for every one of these events. Tell people what's going to be on tap. Really important to let people know what's going to be on tap ahead of time so that they get an idea. I love to know what I'm going into for a tap takeover, especially if you get something rare. It hurries me in the door big time. Plan ahead for space and put all the beers in a row. This is just a personal tip. If you're one of those places you have 20 tap lines and you're doing a tap takeover and you have them spread across all 20, it doesn't have that same look and feel as when I walk in and I see 10 Avery beers all in a row. I know that day is guaranteed, it's Avery day for me. And then another nice thing is to combine this with the keep the glass to create some urgency. That's the big pro tip for this one. You are going to have people that are, maybe I'm going to go out to that tap takeover, maybe I'm not. If there's something free, I'm telling you, I have a whole cabinet full of free glasses from these events, and it gets me to go there quicker. It creates some urgency for me to get in the door. The next one is Meet the Brewer. So these are a lot of fun. I am an avid home brewer, and I also love talking to brewers. They're some of the best people you will ever meet. They're fantastic. The rundown here is it helps you build a relationship with local breweries as well, which everybody loves. It's a craft beer community, and it's a community for a reason. And then brewers usually bring some swag. Everybody likes free stuff. I already talked about that one. So there's 2 real types that we have here. We have your established local brewer. This is where an established brewer comes in and they talk about their success. An example out here in San Diego, there's a gentleman named Peter Zion who is with AleSmith Brewing. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of them. Huge award-winning brewery. They are awesome. You get a guy like that come out and people want to know, how did you get there? How are you guys so successful? And then what that's going to do is draw in that brewery's existing crowd already. I am a beer geek. When Peter Zion talks, I just gawk at him. He's like a hero amongst brewer men out here. So you get those types of people that are the fans of the brewery to come out as well. Number 2, you have new breweries. So these are guys, they're brand new, they're on the scene, they want to get their face and their brand out there. Another nice thing is maybe they're a trek away. Maybe they're 20, 30 minutes away from the downtown area. It gives them a chance to come in and greet and meet everybody, and it gives everybody else a chance to try some of their beers without having to make that trek out there. And then another nice thing is people come by, they want to try something new. I'm sure as you guys are starting to figure out the craft beer crowd, they're not the most loyal crowd ever to just one single brewery. We like to try new things. We like to get out there. Whatever's the new and the fresh and the hot thing, we're always about it. The other thing is a how-to. So this is another one where you're going to talk with your local distributor and then talk with the breweries. Try to link up with both of these guys so we can figure out what they have in their portfolio, and then you can actually get somebody from the brewery to come out as well. Also, find out if you actually get one of the brewers, find out what they're comfortable with. Some of them are going to be very comfortable standing in front of a crowd and kind of talking about their brewing process, maybe where they came from. Some are going to be a little less apt to do that. And what you can do is just do a meet and greet where they just kind of walk around while you guys are trying the beers. They can shake some hands. They can maybe just sit down and drink with your customers too. Another thing to do, ask them if they're going to bring some swag. Free stuff is fun. I'm telling you, everybody likes free stuff, whether it's a keychain, it's t-shirts, it's glasses. See if they have anything that they can bring for the event. Again, there's that crazy pre-promote thing. I'm going to say it a bunch more, so guys, get ready for it. Pre-promote the brewer and the beers that they're bringing. Let everybody know ahead of time what's going there. Pre-promote it. Tell people a time block. Big thing, it's a bummer when you show up to a place and you know there's kind of a meet the brewer and then they're not there. And you're like, oh, I thought they were going to be there. Like, oh, they left at 5. Give people a time block when they're going to be there so that they can plan ahead for that. And then plan ahead for space again. Set up a little area for them. Or again, if you're bringing in maybe a little mini tap takeover that they're doing, plan that space. So there's your pro tip. For a mini tap takeover, ask for something special. So as they're coming out, maybe they have a cask, maybe they have something barrel aged, maybe they even just have some rare bottles they can bring that everybody can drink. Ask them for that. It never hurts to ask, guys. The next thing we're going to go over is beer pairings. Again, hopefully some of you guys are doing these. If not, let's go over it. The rundown, customers love it because it's a different social event. It's not just beer, all right? It's not just you're going to drink some beer. I know from a spouse standpoint, my wonderful fiance, this is a really good way to get her out and trying some new beers as well because it's paired with some chocolate, some donuts, some cupcakes, maybe some delicious food. It's not just, hey, we're going out to grab some beers. It's we're going to a different type of event. It's also a good way to network with local business. Please, if you guys have some of these artisanal local businesses, your cupcake makers, your donut makers, chocolate, get with these guys. You guys are all part of the local community. It's a great way to network with them. Another nice thing is a lot of times you don't have to cover the cost of food. They want to get their brand out there as well. And a lot of times they're going to bring in a lot of that material in their samples for you guys that run this. It's a win-win for both of you. You're getting your beer program out there. They're getting their product into customers' hands as well. And then the local biz you're pairing with, they have their own crowd. The same thing that we said with the brewery, they have their own crowd as far as, hey, this is my donut crowd. This is my chocolate crowd. So they can bring those people too. The how-to, get out there, guys. Reach out to these local businesses. I'm telling you right now, if you pop on Google or you start looking through the papers, you're going to find these local businesses around you. And then see what they have and then plan ahead. Reach out to them and say, hey, I see that you guys have this kind of donut flight that you guys do. Well, hey, I do this beer flight. Maybe we can sit down and just do a small tasting with the two of us sometime and see if any of these are really good pairings together. There is that word again, pre-promote. Telling you guys, you've got to pre-promote this too and have them pre-promote it as well. So as people are coming into their shop, maybe grabbing a donut in the morning, say, hey, by the way, we're doing this beer and donut pairing over the weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys should stop by. And then a big one, again, it's a big time bummer when you show up to an event and they're out of everything. So always put while available or sell tickets for it. So just very important to let people know that there's not an unlimited supply of this. And that also creates some urgency of, oh man, I really want to go to this, but it says while available, I better show up pretty early. Pro tip here, create appealing pictures. So don't just take kind of just a glass of beer and just set it next to a donut. Have some fun with it. Put some thought into it. Make it look really yummy and delicious because that's what's going to get people in the door even quicker. The next thing here is to do a rare first beer release. So the rundown on this one is they can draw in really big crowds. Again, guys, I told you, I am a beer geek. I love trying new beers. I want to be the first one, and I want to brag to people that I'm doing it too. So we're always looking for something new. And when I can say, hey, look what I just had, guys, where are you guys at? The guys that I sent that over to, they're going to be in line right behind me as well. I promise you that one. Breweries following will also come as well. So, hey, here's our rare release. You are going to get representatives from that brewery to come out too. Everybody loves meeting these guys. whether it's one of the sales reps, it's one of the marketing directors, it's an actual brewer. People like just meeting people in the industry. Again, we're a community. And then what's fun is you become the facilitator for that one. Not a lot of work involved. You guys are basically just pushing that beer out there, making it available, and just sitting back and having fun with your customers. The how-to on this one, again, we've said this a couple of times, work with a distributor. Guys, they're your friend. Those are your guys. They're going to go to bat for you. They want to create a working relationship. So, hey, let me know when these new beers are coming out, or hey, I hear there's a new brewery. Are they going to be in your portfolio? If so, what can I get? When do you guys have these rare releases? Look through their portfolio all the time. Another really cool thing is if you have an established brewery that starts moving into your state. Perfect example for this is Left Hand Brewing out of Colorado is now distributed here in San Diego, and it's been awesome. So there was a bunch of tap takeovers, there was rare beer releases, the milk stout was on at all these different places. So that was a place that they're already established, but we hadn't had access to them. So keep your eye out for these guys coming into your state, into the distribution model. It's a lot of fun to try beers from other states, especially when you didn't have a way to do it before. And pre-promote. Have the brewery do this as much as they legally can as well. It differs by state by state. I know you guys are all over the board right now as far as where everybody's from. So again, try to pre-promote that as much as you can. Pro tip here, huge pro tip, tell people the tap time. Put an exact time when that beer is available. It is no big bummer, or it's one of the biggest bummers when somebody tries to come in for that specific beer, it's on their taste buds and it's already gone. And they say, well, I thought we were releasing that today. We're like, oh yeah, we did that a couple hours ago. Let people know what time you're doing that at so that they have a fair shot at getting it. Also, create some urgency, gets them in the door. Hosting beer geek meetings. These are awesome. If you guys have not done these, this is a huge one. I recommend this big time. The rundown on these are you're going to actually host a beer geek event or a meeting at your bar or your establishment. So what these entail, you have home brewer clubs, Brewers Guild meeting, Pink Boots Society, beer clubs, local beer buses, bar crawls. These are all beer-oriented groups, people that like to go out, they like to be social, and they like to drink beer. So these are the people we're looking for. Another nice thing is if you can bring these groups in there, chances are there's going to be some newer people. You can turn those guys into loyal customers, and then they're your friends. They're going to come back in because you hosted an event. The how-to on this one, find these groups on social media through blogs, website, extend the offer to the host as well. So they're out there. If you guys are not in touch with some of these local crowds yet, and you guys are serving craft beer, you got to get on it right now. I'm telling you, there are local groups all around you. Reach out to them because they're going to want to talk to you as well. Again, we're a community aspect. We love talking to different bars, restaurants, and breweries, and then we like going to events as well. Another thing, ask your staff and your regulars if they're a part of these groups. Someone sit down, you see a regular comes in, say, hey, are you a home brewer, or are you a part of any beer group, or do you think a beer bus would be cool? Get in touch with them, ask them. It never hurts to ask. Offer something in return for hosting their event there. So, hey, here's this home brewing club. You guys come out. The first beer is on me for you guys. Something of that nature, or give away, some type of discount for them. Another one is section off an area for the event. So kind of take an area of your guys' establishment. I know everybody probably has different size places. Section off an area though, just for them. And then the pro tip for that one, for that day, bring on extra staff that could be their personal runner. It's a lot of fun, especially when you get in conversation about like a home brewer and you guys are getting really detailed into yeast and extraction and all these, attenuation and all these things. If you have somebody that's running beers back and forth, we are a lot more apt to keep drinking those too. So it's a good ROI. Here's just the big one, and I went over it. Pre-promotion is such a big thing. You have to at least plan out a month ahead, in my opinion. It's a really good rule of thumb. Create a flyer for every single event. Every single event you guys have, please create a flyer for that. Not only the online version, but also do some print ones there in-house. There is a system called Canva that if you guys haven't used that, it's a very easy flyer system. Also, if you have any staff that has any design experience, ask them, give them a general list of what you guys want to do and have them build something out for you. You can also push these events out on things, of course, like Facebook. If you guys are on TapHunter, you can put those in the events page. That's where you got to put it where people are looking for these events. If you guys have a big email database, email this flyer out to your current customers. Let them know, hey, here's all the events that we have coming up this month. I'm telling you, they will plan ahead for these things. Also, schedule posts on social media with a flyer attached. Another really awesome thing is try to boost these. Um, I don't know if this is something you guys have ever looked into before, but on the Facebook posts, you can actually boost them. It really works. I'm not joking, guys. Our company does it ourselves. It's a really effective tool, and you can get really detailed with it. You can actually target the people in your general area who like beer and who are searching for those things. So give it a go. It's definitely going to be worth your guys' time. Put events on your website. Put all your events on your website. Reach out to these local clubs and groups. So maybe you had one of those homebrewer clubs come out. Hopefully you guys got some of those emails, and then you can reach back out to them. Put these in local drink magazines, food magazines. Really cheap ads. Maybe they're like a $50 a month ad, something like that. Out here in San Diego, we have one called the West Coaster. It is awesome. It has all the great beer events, great beer articles. I'm sure in your guys' area you have something very similar. Have your staff share this on their personal social media. Okay, they work there, they're fans, they want to get all their people there too and involved. It's a lot more fun when you're surrounded by friends. Have them push it out there as well. And then have the events partner to pre-promote the following event. So if you are working with the donut shop or the chocolate place, make sure they're doing the same thing that you have. If you've already created the flyer for them, you can just send it over to them and have them push it out there. Also, big, don't forget ones, host these events on off days. So if you guys are slammed on Fridays and Saturdays, probably not a reason to host one of these events. Try to do these on some off days to start, your Mondays, your Wednesdays, your Tuesdays, or whatever one of the slower days is. The idea is we're trying to bump up the amount of people in your guys' location on maybe what would be normally a slower day for you. Capture their info. Okay, this is a really, really big one. So as people are coming in there, you want to create this new crowd. You want to stay in touch with them. Try to get emails. Try to have them link up with you guys on social media. Have them favorite you guys on TapHunter if you guys are part of that. Another big one, don't just stand behind the bar and watch the people roll in. Get out there and talk to them. If you are the GM, you're the bar manager, you're the owner, get out there and have fun with this crowd, all right? Ask them, hey, what beers do you guys liking, or where do you guys live at in the local area? Where do you guys like to go for beer? Have you heard of any new breweries? They're going to talk to you. Again, it's a very social community. And then the last one here is stay consistent. As you guys start to get into these, try to stay consistent of, I'm going to do one of these every third Monday. So maybe that's how you have one of these beer events, and stay consistent so that people know. A lot of the ones that I go to here in San Diego are the third of every month or the first of every month. And then I know when those are. So it's already in my brain. I already know what it's going to be. I just know that it's going to be another brewery or another type of pairing. It gets me excited though, because I love going to these places. So as we kind of wrap up here in review, you want to draw in me, the local craft beer geek, because we spend more, we share stuff on social media, we tell our friends, we are a bragging crowd. We like to tell people, hey, look, we're out, we're doing this, we're doing this. We're a fun social crowd. Why you want to host beer events specifically, great ROI, especially on some of those slower days that you might have not have thought of doing one of these before. Try them on one of the slower days. Bringing in a new crowd is another one. If you guys are already a well-established craft beer place, you probably have kind of that big crowd. If you're just getting into this scene, you're going to have a whole new crowd coming in, and that's what you want. That you want different types of people coming in. These types of events, they stoke your existing customers. If I already go to a place and I'm a regular there, and all of a sudden I walk in on a Monday and there's like a beer and chocolate pairing, I'm like, what? This is awesome. Yeah, of course I'm going to sit down. I'm going to stay here for a while. I like chocolate. I like beer. Now I'm doing them both together and there's all these people. I'm staying. And then they're relatively easy to put on. They're not a super complicated event. A lot of them, especially like your tap takeovers, is just kind of setting up the tap lines, getting with your distributor, and then you're set. When you guys plan it all out a month ago, then basically you're just pre-promoting it, and then all you have to do is put the event on. Super easy. Another thing that I recommend and that you guys try to get through this entire list that we went through and see what works for you guys. So instead of just trying one of these events, try to do several different ones. Try all of them, and then maybe you had a real big crowd that showed up to one and maybe a smaller one for another. Try to find out why, but at least give all of these a shot. Maybe you guys spend a 4 to 5 month period just kind of getting through all of them. But I recommend that as just kind of see what works for you guys. Every demographic's a little different, and I think the spice is life. You gotta do a little different here and there. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pass it back over to Kara, and we're going to do any questions that you guys have.
Alrighty, thank you, Eric. Super, super informative. So yeah, now we're gonna roll into a quick question and answer sesh. So other than a bunch of people wishing Eric good luck on his test and a few people recognizing their bar and some of the photos that we used, we had a few other questions come in here that may be helpful to hear answered. All right, so our first question here was, what event do you recommend that we start with for our first time? So the first time they run a beer event.
Alrighty, that is, it's a fantastic question. This is something that I was thinking about too. My recommendation is to start with a tap takeover. The reason that I say that one is because it's really cool to kind of set up your tap lines with that, however, if you do maybe 6 to 10. Another one is I've walked into different places that I really didn't know were a craft beer place specifically. And all of a sudden I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, they have 10 Avery beers on. They're doing a tap takeover at this place. It kind of gave me the idea of, all right, these guys are serious. This is now a craft beer place. And in my brain, I put them into a craft beer place. It's a very easy event to run too. So that is my first recommendation on that one.
Cool. All right. Our second question here is, do you think there's an ideal cost for a beer pairing event? And I'm assuming you mean tickets to sell. So correct me if I'm wrong there. But we've tried a few as a local business and have struggled to fill them.
Yeah, another great question. I would say that it really depends on what type of pairing you're doing. Just to give you kind of a rundown of the ones that I've gone to out here in San Diego, I have gone to one that was kind of a mini tap takeover and then a chocolate pairing, and that was about $15 for the ticket. Another one that I've gone to was a donut pairing, and I think that was around $20 for the flight and the pairings. It's going to depend on your guys' specific market and kind of how we were. The question, as you were saying, maybe it was a timing where you just pre-promotion a little bit more, kind of push it out there and create a buzz about it, continually talk with it about your guests as well. That should help fill that time. And then if you guys don't want to do the ticket setup, just say well available so that you're not kind of putting, we have to get this many people indoor. Remember, we're trying to bring in kind of the couples, your spouse crowd too, not just the 1 to 2 drinker. So we're trying to create it to where groups of people are coming in. I would say, just kind of a general rule of thumb, I would go anywhere from the $10 to $25 range if it's going to be an actual event. That should get some more people indoor. Again, what we're trying to do is bring newer people in too, and you're trying to get them to come back. So just getting people in the door the first time, giving them a great experience, that may be that way to keep them coming back as well.
All right. Our next question here is, any thoughts on the best way to promote beer tasting events around town? Is there a go-to place to promote online?
Yeah, absolutely. Many great places to do this at. I would recommend, obviously, TapHunter. We're part of TapHunter. We have a great event section as part of our app and our website. I would also, as we mentioned before, I'm sure all of you have a local beer blogging, maybe like a beer blogger, a club. Maybe there is a kind of a network of friends. Like I have SD Beer Friends. That's kind of a social networking group on Facebook out here in San Diego. Try to find those groups because that's one that gets me a lot of the time is I'll go on to SD Beer Friends and there'll be 2 guys arguing about what's the better IPA and I will pass that one up and then I'll go and I'll say, oh, what is this? There's this event. Oh man, they're doing this food pairing. That is awesome. That's kind of the way that I recommend it. If you guys don't know any of these groups, it's one of those things that I have my email on here. If you guys want to email me as well, I can try to take a look into your local areas and get back to you guys on that too. I'm pretty good about finding those types of groups.
Alrighty, let me pull up our next question here. So I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, and then if you still have questions, feel free to email them in, and again, Eric or I will answer them back for you guys. So the next one here is, how does a restaurant without an actual bar and limited tap space build a craft following?
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic question. So on a restaurant side, as our company here at TapHunter, we work with bars, restaurants, and breweries. For me, it's not so much about the number of taps you have as always. It's about the quality that you put on as well. I go to very big tap houses that have 50 drafts. They're constantly rotating. And I also have a few local places I love to go to that have only 4 taps. The difference is the places that have those 4 taps, what they're doing is they're putting on some bigger beers, higher ABVs, some barrel aged stuff, and some sours as well. They're kind of designating their tap lines for that, maybe even a really nice double or triple IPA, and they're utilizing that space that way. And then what they're doing is have a bottle list. If you don't have a lot of space, especially a big cold box where you can put a bunch of kegs, just have a really nice bottle list. Get about 20 beers on there. And again, try to have some more rare stuff. Let people know that, if I go to a restaurant and I'm looking down a menu and I see, some Almanac Brewing or some sours, or if you guys are out in the Midwest, some Upland Brewing, I'm initially thinking like, wow, this was unexpected. I did not expect this place to have something like that. So kind of bring in some of those more rare beers and just kind of, when people sit down, they're eating their burger, they're eating their food, it says, oh, wow, like didn't know this was a craft beer place, but now I know. So that's how it's attracted me a lot of different times.
All right, so we have time for one more question here, but again, don't hesitate to reach out to either Eric or I, Eric at taphunter.com or Kara, Kara, at taphunter.com, and we are more than happy to talk with you, even give you a quick call to answer any questions that you have. All right, so this last question here is, our place only has 10 taps. How many beers from a single brewery do you recommend we feature to make it worthwhile, but still retaining other options for guests who aren't interested?
Yeah, you guys are killing it with the questions. These are fantastic. So I try to relate everything to stories and my own personal experience and how these things go. There is a place right down from my house called Tomasol. He has 12 taps and he does a monthly tap takeover, and then they turn into the brewery of the month. So what he does is he does 4 to 5 beers from that specific brewery. He runs a tap takeover to start the month. And then whatever is still on his lines, then they become the brewery of the month. And then what happens is if you blow through, so say the tap takeover was really, really successful, you blow through all 4 to 5 kegs, ask that distributor, say, hey, maybe can I get some more of those on there? Try to keep those 4 to 5 for the rest of the month, because obviously it was a really popular event and it's a really popular option. What that does is it says, all right, look, they're doing this mini tap takeover. They've got 4 to 5 from this specific brewery of the month. And then it gives you guys a lot of room for your other options as well, because of course you guys still want to keep that rotation going as your month goes on with those other taps. So if you're doing, say 4 for the tap takeover, your other 6, keep rotating those. Keep bringing them some new stuff, because that's, of course, what people like.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, again, feel free to email Eric at taphunter.com or Kara at taphunter.com to get some more questions answered, because I do see a few more rolling in here. All right, well, we're going to roll into a quick TapHunter product demonstration right now. If you're going to drop off right now, you will be receiving a recording of this webinar along with a link to the PDF presentation, because there's a lot of great info in there. All right, so I'm going to pass the reins back to Eric.
All righty, thank you, Kara. And as she mentioned too, everybody who's still on the line here, it's Eric at taphunter.com. I love talking with you guys. If you guys have questions, even if I don't know the answer, I have a huge network out here. I can reach out and find you guys that answer. So feel free to reach out to me. What we're going to do, I'm just going to do a quick overview of what TapHunter is and what it is that I do on a daily basis and what we do as a company. Oh, there we go. So the TapHunter mission, what we're looking to do is create a platform where you guys can engage customers and keep them coming back. What we do there is we push a lot of your live menus out, and specifically with the use of our mobile app, what we're doing is sending push notifications out to your loyal fans that are following your guys' location to let them know when there's new beer on. So as we mentioned before with the tap takeover, what's really nice is a lot of people push that tap takeover out on TapHunter at one time. I get a push notification. I say, oh, cool. Like, look at left hand when they came in. I got a push notification for that from a place called Small Bar out here. Really cool. I knew what was going on, and it pushed it straight to me. Another thing we're trying to do, a lot of you had questions and different things about growing your fan base and becoming a craft beer place. If you are using TapHunter, chances are you're a craft beer place, or that's somewhere you're going. People know that, people recognize that brand and that name, and they know that you guys are really involved into that. One thing I skipped over, let me go back. We also help to educate staff. So rotating craft beer programs as far as the staff and your servers, that can be tough sometimes. So what we have is some different tools that we have to help you with that, creating on deck lists, having an easy way for them to update the website and the social media. It's a very simple way to do things like that. Also, help you guys sell more drinks in the long run. That's the industry we're in. We all get it. We know what the game is. Trying to sell more drinks is a big deal. So that's something that we help you guys do. Basically, how it works, it's a very easy to use system. Basically, all you need is an internet connection and either a laptop, a tablet, your iPad, or you can even do it from your cell phone now, which is actually really cool. And all you're doing is getting a unique login and password to our system. And what it's going to do, you're going to create one list, so a tap list or a bottle list. It's going to update your website, your social media. We do digital displays and your print menus all in one. So you create one up-to-date list, you pull beers out of our database, it pushes it out everywhere for you guys. Nice, simple, and easy. This is what one of our drink menus looks like. So if you guys are spending time in InDesign, or you're using WordPress, you're using Excel, and you're kind of having to do this, you're going to Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, looking all that information up, then copying and pasting it. We're just trying to save you guys a lot of steps in that process. So all you're going to do is update TapHunter, and we're going to set it up to just print in one of these formats that you guys see here. The one on the left is by tap number. So if you just want, here's all my taps, I just want some simple information, we can set it up that way. If you guys want to do it like this one here, is lagers, wheat and rye beers, blondes, and ambers. What the beers are going to do is read what category they're supposed to go in. They're going to pop in there, and then you guys can print a menu out. Really nice, super simple and easy. This is one of the favorite tools from a lot of our customers right now. We also do digital drink displays. These have been wildly popular here in probably the last month and a half or so. It's been a lot of fun. And the reason is chalkboards, some of them are big, they're beautiful. I love chalkboards in some locations, but let's face it, guys, if you don't have the good handwriting, or the receptionist with the nice handwriting's not in, they can get messy, they can get sloppy, they're kind of pain in the butt. I have one customer that actually ended up falling off a ladder and hitting his butt on his bar, and he said, you know what, that is the last time I'm doing a chalkboard. So essentially what we do on the digital drink menus is we take over one of your existing TVs with that little device there on the right hand side. It's about the size of a deck of cards that plugs in through an HDMI cord to the TV. It reads taphunter.com and displays your guys' awesome beer list on here. We have a lot of different variations with that. Again, it's one of those things you guys can reach out to us if you want some more info on those. We also help with the website. So we've already created a website widget that is basically just a set it and forget it product. What we're going to do is drop that code into your website, and what it's going to do is display your up-to-date list. So you are not calling the webmaster every time you need an update, or you're not having to go in there yourself. You just update TapHunter, and it'll update your website for you guys. We also have some awesome social media tools. So that same idea where you guys can have that live listing on your website, we can actually drop that into your Facebook on the desktop there, and that's what it looks over there on the left-hand side. Really cool. The idea is that people look for where they're going to go eat and drink in a lot of different places. Some go online, some go social media. We're trying to get those menus out everywhere so we can attract that crowd. You can post to Facebook using our system. So you just say like, hey, just tap. What is that one in there? Black bottle just saying. What's really cool is somebody can click on that, and then it's going to go to your full and up-to-date list as well. Another nice feature for those of you who are doing Twitter, or for those of you who don't want to do Twitter because it's just an extra task, what we can do is link up with your Twitter, and what it's going to do is send out the new beer you put on, and we're actually going to automatically tag the brewery as well. So every time you update TapHunter, it's going to push that out to your community and our TapHunter community as well. With a mobile app, this is why I'm sitting in this seat right here. I was a mobile app user before I ever even knew TapHunter did anything else. It's a great app. It's super fun to be a part of. You can look for specific beers. You can just pop it open and find some of the local places on TapHunter around you. Another nice thing is, as I mentioned before, push notifications. If you get somebody to follow your location, what that's going to do then is they actually get a push notification. But it kind of looks like a text message coming through. And basically what it's going to say is, hey, look, they have new beer on, and it's going to let them see what new beers come on. So really great. It's a free app to download. The customers that we talk to, they love it. I love it too. I am an avid app user, and I work here. So it's kind of just a great thing. The bar stats and consumer insight. So this is stuff that we don't just like to give you guys, a suite of online tools and just kind of drop the ball on that one. We want to stay in touch with you guys, and we want to give you guys some good information. On the left-hand side there, that would be your guys' draft list. And what it's going to do is tally up how many times people were searching for that specific beer in your area. Kind of gives you an idea of what's popular at that time. You can see Russian River Pliny the Elder up there with over 1,000 out here in San Diego. pretty typical. People search for that beer a lot. I'm sure all of you have one of those local whale type beers as well. Um, the impressions up in the top right hand side, every one of those stars that you see is when somebody updated. And what that's going to be is eyeballs on your location. So that is somebody opened the app and they found you guys because you have a beer they've been looking for, or they're just in the local area, or they got that push notification and they said, hey, I want to see what they have. Those will all count up as impressions. What's really nice is you can kind of take a look at some of those peaks and say, man, what did I do on this Tuesday? That might have been your Tap Takeover day. That might have been, an event you guys were running too, which we just got done talking about. And then the top 10 favorite beers across the whole platform just lets you guys know what the most popular beers across the platform people are searching for. Other than that, I wanted to thank every single one of you guys for taking some time out of your day. Having been in that industry as well, I know how hectic it can be, so I really appreciate it. If you guys have anything else, or if you're interested, obviously Kara is a great resource. You can email her at kara@taphunter.com. Or if you want to request a free demo of kind of the products that I just went over, you can go to gettaphunter.com. And I know we had some other questions that were coming in from the events demo. So if you guys want, it is eric@taphunter.com. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Other than that, I will let you guys all go, and I look forward to hearing back from some of you guys down the road. Thank you again for your time today.